Good morning on Sunday, August 4th, 2024. Tropical Storm Debbie is approaching, but I think the deluge will be tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. So today is a decent day to think about tasks that are waiting for me. And like most amateur gardeners, I have a few plants that deserve to be up-potted. I have the camera focused on this fig, not so much because I'm going to up-pot this one, but I was going to comment on what I consider to be about the largest pot practical to continue dragging around. And this one is 17 inches across. Maybe I can manage a pot 18 or 19 at best, but this is about my limit. But as long as I'm talking about it, this is the first year for me to have any ripe figs. I noticed the birds were pecking at one yesterday and I grabbed it before it was gone. This is a Celeste, so I know there are some very good fig growing channels. I'm not claiming to be highly knowledgeable about figs, but I'm finally starting to have some success with this one, so I look forward to having more figs next year. So I'll walk down there and select a plant for up-potting. This is my gardening area that I have fenced off so that it doesn't get mowed, and I've kept several of my larger potted avocados down in here. This one is my poncho tree, and I would say this one looks to be, it could be justifiably up-potted, but I also think it can wait. I've got this large seedling here that's nearly 5 feet tall, but that's a pretty good size pot. And my Fuerte's getting large, but I also have it in a quite large pot. So I'm gonna have to decide, I think, between the Bacon and the Stewart. So I feel like this Stewart can go a little longer. So I think by default it's going to be the Bacon. You can see how broad it is. And the pot size is a little smaller than I'm using currently for the Fuerte. So Bacon it will be. I'm going to put this one in a new home. Now that I've pulled the Bacon out of there, let's get a better look at it. It's kind of interesting how the growth pattern of this tree is spreading it out to the side this way. It looks like something is fusing an old leaf to this leaf, and I will cut that out rather than learn what it is and if it's potentially going to eat leaves later. You get the impression this tree is going to form a new leader growing vertically from here. Hello, Mr. Grasshopper. So tree's doing okay. Starting to get bark spreading up the tree. Looks to be healthy and ready for a new pot. I'm developing a good collection of spare pots, and I found I've got a 14-inch, 15-inch, 17-inch, and an 18-inch pot that I can choose from. So I think 14 or 15 is going to be the right choice today. And studying this, I think moving all the way to a 15 is a little too ambitious, so I will go with the 14. So, assessing my supplies, it looks like I'm ready. I've got some sand, perlite. I've mentioned before that I'm a fan of Daddy Pete's mixes. I get these at Southern States, so I haven't felt the need to continue experimenting with soil. This stuff works. So I've got some raised bed mix and this premium sandy loam. I do have 1 bucket of my local native soil just to stretch things, but I've learned don't go more than a 1/5 or at most a 1/4 native soil, because once you get to about a 1/3, avocado roots start to struggle with that clay. I also have another container here of avocado soil that I mixed earlier for a seedling that died, so that will help me out. Here's my flat edge. So when I get ready to take that Bacon out, I'll work the flat edge around the pot, loosen the soil, and then pull it out of there. I broke up the old soil and loosened it up so that I could take what remained of the prior avocado tree out of here. Okay, I'm ready to get the tree out of the pot. I can easily move it around within. I've gotten it to the point where I can touch the bottom with my fingers. My tools have worked all the soil free from around the edge there. What you don't want to do is try to lift the tree from the trunk because you could break the graft. It's better to loosen up the root ball to the point that you can get a hand on the left side and a hand on the right side and just lift the whole root ball out. I don't worry so much about minor damage to the exterior of the roots. It's much better to protect the trunk of the tree. I've got the soil dumped out from the previous avocado. Since I have the opportunity, I'll mix in a little bit more of this fruiting tree fertilizer. We can get a good look at the tree roots now. Everything looks like it's doing fine. I've got these cream colored roots penetrating deep into the old layer of soil. They were starting to touch the bottom of the pot, so my guess was right. This tree was pretty close to needing to come out. I may have had a little bit of time to work with, but it's not bad to have chosen this moment to begin transitioning it to another container. We're getting close to having it done. I just need to put another layer or two of soil on the remaining roots, but before I do that, I have some dessert for this tree. These are tea bags that I've been saving and accumulating for a year, so I open them up, get all of the dried out tea, and I'll mix that into the upper layer of soil before I put the mulch on it. Getting down to the final stages here. I've got the mulch on the tree, so next step, move this to a semi-shaded, partly sunny area, water it, and then think about what my next video is going to be.